everybody, and welcome back to the Universus Academy podcast. I'm your host, John Jennings. With me today, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Ryan Kraft, back on screen. And we have our friend, Mr. Tim Keefe, back with us as well. Tim, how we doing?
All right. Lazy Sunday, but we can come on and talk about some cards.
Nice. Yes, someone dated the pod before I could do it. Ha!
Yeah, it's true. You kind of ruin him there. He does that every pod, so it's kind of his thing.
I was gonna even comment about how I was going to immediately date the pod because of the content of the show, but Tim beat me to it.
Yeah. So this is the Sunday show. It is before we are still missing the last cards from Eraserhead, but we have a lot to talk about. So
there's really obviously, as Tim alluded to, there's not really been a whole lot of big Jasco news on the horizon. They're really getting ready to go to Gen Con. I think they even put out a message in the Discord like, hey, if you put in a ticket, we're not answering tickets right now. Don't bother, we'll be back after Gen Con.
Yeah, I think it's even shut down. You're not even allowed to. Like, I can't harass them about fixing the Origins player points.
On that note, I guess we can talk about this. I literally had to open a ticket and show them exactly what points I was missing to get my points added. So that got my points now. They were added. But I had to go through myself and break it down into an Excel sheet, put it in a ticket, send pictures to Lenoco, who was the one working my ticket, and he was like, okay, it adds up. Here's your points. So I have my points now from Origins.
Yeah, I'm even talking about the regional points. They've still got those are still in Swiss finalist order and not world top 8 order.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
So Corey's getting screwed right now, but
yeah. So way more important points than the ones I'm talking about. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Say, or for a peasant like me, I've only, the only major event I've played in is the Orlando RLE, so I'm rocking 16 loyalty points right now total. But yeah, so if you've got a problem or something going on with your MHA account or any pricing you're missing right now, it's too bad. I would suggest go to Gen Con and personally harass them is the best advice I can give you.
It's terrible advice. Don't harass Jasco employees. Don't do that.
That's gonna be the best thing to do. I'm sure Aspire is gonna be, doing commentary, and you can just, off real stand beside, just hey, my points. Yes, just be like the Today Show, but it's for the MHA stream. Just where are my points? But yes, please don't actually do that. That's for sure the way to get ignored or I don't say they would ignore you. But...
Suspended player list. Here you come.
Yes.
Yeah, the Origins RLE points, the broken ones they have are actively good for me, so I feel completely safe to just harass them to no end because it's actually bad for me if they fix them.
There you go. See, exactly. You just got to spend them all on something before they fix it and take them away, right? That's the plan.
Oh no, there's no spending them. This is
he's talking about the qualifier points.
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah. For Worlds. Yep. Yeah. Gotcha. But yeah, so since we last talked, they have started dropping some major previews for Set 3. And they started everything off with the new Eraserhead starter deck. And as Ryan said, I think we've got all but 4 or 5 cards out of the deck previewed so far.
4, I think.
There's 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suspect we have not seen the 1-ups yet. They probably saved the spiciest stuff for last.
I would think so too.
But we have all the meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was officially confirmed when we talked about it or not, but there's 2 starter decks. There's Eraserhead and Endeavor, and each of them will have a at least one of in the starter deck. I assume if there's 2, I'd imagine it'd be 1 foundation and 1 attack that are each a 1 of. I have feelings about that. That's not really the pod for this. But
hey, may as well talk about it, man.
Okay, we'll talk about it. I think it's shitty.
Yeah, I mean, especially because these seem like they're going to be split into 2 separate starters, right? So you're going to have to buy 4 of each, and we don't know the price point on these yet officially. So have you? I've heard $20 a piece. Is that what you guys have heard?
I haven't heard anything. I would imagine it's anywhere from 15 to 20. So the rival decks, the rival box was 30, and you got 2 starters, right? So you'd think 15 a piece. However, those did go up to 40 at some point. Because I don't know if that was just the MRSP going up or if that was just scarcity, so people just raised the price on them or what. But
I think it was something about their production costs went up for the second run or something.
That was a COVID thing, COVID production thing, maybe?
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how you guys feel, but obviously I consider myself to be a competitive player. My tournament record might argue otherwise, but I want to have at least one of all the cards, right? Especially something like a starter deck where all the cards are in there. Having to spend like what, maybe $160 on a new set before I'm even cracking packs of a new of like boxes feels kind of bad. And like I have like an adult job. I have like, you know, real money that I can like spend that I use on my hobby and stuff. And but that's just feels bad. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, I don't love 1Xs and starters, but I definitely understand it from the company's perspective. Like, it's a guaranteed source of income, right? Because people just need the
Mhm.
cards. You make them good enough, people have to buy 4. I don't think it's like super predatory, even though I don't like it. It's just annoying. And I'll continue to buy them because there's a lot of starter deck cards outside of the 1Xs that are really good, and I want to put them in
Mhm.
multiple decks, so I need the cards. But yeah, it doesn't feel good. So like you said, that $160 investment for really 4X of maybe 4 cards total is what it boils down to. Kind of feels bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, if they were 2X's, I'd probably be buying 4 anyway. Just I like having 2 sets of things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Makes no difference to me. And as a company, I'm sure I know Jason back in the day complained a lot about precons and starters because you just never make money on them. Just between the art costs and the printing costs to print. I mean, maybe they have enough scale now, but sort of they need the people who are trying to get playsets of every set to sort of support the cost of these things so that
Mhm.
the newer players that just buy one of each or whatever are because nobody's going to buy more than 4, right? Is sort of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have
Yeah.
anybody wail on 2 cases of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
One
unless they go
thing
back to like old school where they're putting like case
random.
toppers on top of starter decks like they did
Yeah.
like Blood and Shrew and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't ever fucking do that again. Please don't. That was so much money. It was ridiculous.
Yes. But also please reprint Blood Runs True.
no, no, actually no.
But don't do that. Even though I played that card more than anyone,
I was
don't
gonna
do
say
that.
you don't act like you wouldn't
I,
slam 4 of that into every deck, Ryan.
I was like one of the first people to get a set of that card.
Mhm.
I didn't
Oh
even
wow.
know how good it was. It just had Nagaruru in the art, and
Yeah.
I played her a lot in like CBS and K2. So I just like traded hard, like just completely overspent
Mm.
to trade for those right out of the gate. And then like 1 or 2 weeks after the set came out, I was back home in Poughkeepsie, and I went to a local and like, how do you have a set of that already? Like, I don't know, just
Traded?
traded aggressively.
You thought you overspent, but really, those cards are worth their weight in gold
Yeah,
because they were
yeah,
very hard to
Oh my
get.
god.
yeah.
Oh. Oh man. Having
Anyways,
flashbacks.
let's not talk about
Anyway, yeah.
PTSD inducing cards. Let's go.
Yeah. Anyway, we are going to talk about the new Eraserhead, who I think is actually really cool. He is 6 hand size, which I have feelings about 6 hand size characters, but I think he kind of helps overcome a lot of 6 hand size problems with his abilities. So right off the bat, like I said, he's 627. I don't think we're worried about any stack in here. He's a 6 cost. He has all and void, but they have dropped death and added water, which makes me sad because I love death as a symbol and wanted to see it get a big boost with this starter deck. But at any rate, he has enhance. Your attack gets +1 speed for each attack in your card pool, period. If it is completely blocked, draw 1 card. Response commit. After your rival plays an attack, choose 1 ability on that attack. It loses that ability for the rest of the turn. I think he's pretty hot. We should note on that response part where you clear an ability, static effects are an ability that you can clear, right? Like we're
Mm-hmm.
all on the same
Yep,
page with that.
yep.
So like I play a tape swing, bang, that part's gone. The static, it can't be completely blocked. Now it can. um, the adding speed. So we still have the theme with Eraser adding speed to his own attacks. We saw that with the first one where he's plus or minus. Uh, you get guaranteed kind of damage one way or the other because if they completely block it, you're going to draw a card, that'll kind of deter people. Or maybe they're half blocking, so they can still save some damage, and you're still getting some damage in that way. I think he's really cool just off the bat. Obviously, we're gonna talk about much more of his kit, but I think he looks really cool. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are.
Yeah, I'm happy to see some scaling offense.
Mhm.
It's this is a character where if the game gets to turn 5, 6, 7, and he's crafting a hand, whatever he puts together, if he gets like 5 attacks in his hand and hopes to draw into like 1 or 2 more over the course of his string,
Mhm.
he will actually be able to land things towards the end of that string, probably. Um, which is nice because there's a lot of decks that are really good at chain blocking, and so if all you're doing is putting +1 or 2 speed on all of your moves, a lot of decks can just overcome that right now.
Mhm.
So it's good to see the scaling offense from like a meta perspective. That response is we could probably go on forever about all the cool things you can do with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I mean, you can turn off the face up static on electric jolt if you want to, or the deal 1 damage part of it. Really, any of those face up momentum things, you can turn those off. There's turning off the ready to on frog lashing suddenly makes that card fair. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
or if you even just want to hit the added damage on frog lashing, like it's the possibilities are endless, right? Well, not endless. There's obviously some limit on them, but it's just I think it's a really cool tech piece. Adds another layer of strategy to the game, right? Like when do I want to like save this, or if you're playing against Eraserhead, like do I want to try to throw out something big to bait the response commit, or like what are we doing here? Like I like that additional layer of like back and forth to the game.
Yeah, and you were talking about the handcrafting stuff. Like, as we'll see later, he's got some cards that will help out with that. But yeah, this guy's going to be awesome to get later into the game with. Just throw a string of attacks to just ignore progressive, or I mean, like you get late enough, it doesn't matter if you even count progressive with this guy. You're just going to add a ton of speed, draw cards if they block, just completely punish them for blocking, and just keep popping off. So this guy seems cool. I don't love the symbols. I don't play these symbols, but they might get me to venture into these symbols a little bit, maybe.
there's a whole set coming out alongside this guy, right? You don't. Everything you know about the symbols might be different by the
That's
time you
true.
do this whole
That's
set,
true.
right?
Mhm.
So.
I've already seen some cards that we're going to talk about today that may have changed my mind a little bit, so we'll see how it
One last
goes.
quick thought on this new eraser having water. I think it will give Momo 2 a big bump because she didn't have really any access to anything on water outside of Cannon Blast as far as weapons were concerned. And we do know that a lot of eraser cards have weapon on them from his eraser 1 and from what we're about to see. So this way should have more opportunities to throw stun 2 or breaker on like water cards. Just what everyone wants. More water cards with stun 2 and breaker and whatever else she does to them.
Yeah.
I mean, really, water is kind of Asui only right now if you really dig into it. So, you know, I would love for other water characters to start seeing playing being viable. Honestly,
That's true.
I mean, this is a water character I would play. Like, I actively avoid playing water because I don't want to play frog. And this character seems really sweet. So, I mean, we'll see what kind of support set 3 brings to make it more exciting for me personally. And hopefully this guy is, he does it for me. So, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, Tim, why don't you keep us going with his next card?
yeah. So the next card is Aerial Drop. It is a 4 difficulty 3 check with a +2 low block. It's 3 high for 4 weapon combo. I think we're gonna see a few combos in here. There's a lot of push for the play only combo moves.
Yeah.
Line up here. The combo enhance is just +2 damage, so you get a 3 high 6 out of it if you combo it. And it has this neat enhanced discard 1 momentum for stun 2. I don't know how good this card is, but I like it. You know, discarding a momentum for stun 2 is a nice rate. That's something that you're happy to pay on Giant Ice Wall, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have the momentum, you can combo it to make it a 3 high 6, which is also okay. You kind of, if you don't have momentum and you don't have the combo for it, then it's really bad. But usually you'll have one or both of those things.
Yeah, and I guess if you're playing this with a racer, like, and if you just combo it, it's a 5 high for 6 on the combo.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's getting at least +2 speed, right?
Yeah. It's not bad.
There's a fair bit of the character tax in here, right? Where like
Yes.
there are some cards that feel like they have 1 less speed because they're in a character that gives a speed bonus. I never really like to see that, but it's still it's not like 3 high 6 is bad stats though. So
no, yeah, for sure.
Not bad at all.
I think this card's totally fine. Like, it's generic. I mean, someone might play it. I don't expect it to see widespread plays from what we know so far, but like, I think this is an awesome card for limited formats. I think it'd be really fun to play, like sealed or something. It'd be a nice thing to shore up your attack lineup.
yeah,
Definitely.
Go
ahead. I was just saying.
Oh,
Talked about how they wanted the starter decks to be like kind of competitive viable, like out of the box. I feel like this helps that a lot because it is obviously, like you said, it's all based around eraser and adding that speed. So having something like, oh, well, I don't have like a whole lot of like high power attacks, right? 'Cause a lot of eraser stuff, it is a lot lower damage. But having something just out of the box is fairly easy to play. Just making it a 5 high for 6 on a 5 diff, that doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, I think this shows up as a 2x index where it checks some boxes, right? Where like, oh man, I don't really have many momentum spenders, and I could use the low block, so
right.
In it goes.
Fair enough. All right, so next up we got Binding Cloth Dropkick. So this is a 4/3 +2 high block, 4 speed high for 4 damage. This is a kick weapon combo weapon with the text box only being completely dedicated to combo. So it's a combo enhance. Discard 1 card. This attack gets +4 damage. So this is like Binding Cloth Texas Smash. Basically, it's like combines it in Texas Smash. You don't get to buff itself without the momentum though, or without the discard. I mean, so yeah, I like this card. I think this card's cool. It's a big hitter. It should be cool for like that little void kick package too. Or actually, maybe not. There's only a few kick weapons. Like there's what Dropkick Slicer and actually is that the only kick weapon?
That's all. Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. So, I don't know. I like the card. I think it could see some play. 4/2 for 8 on discard a card and characters that can draw cards. Pretty dope. I like it.
I think it's slammed into Eraserhead 1, right? Like either on all or void. Because his whole thing is like he has a lot of problem like hit with big damage attacks. You're like, okay, like on a 5 diff, this is a 6 high for 8. It's not bad.
He does struggle to close out games in E1. Yeah.
Yeah. Discarding the card is a steep cost, but if you're winning this turn, it doesn't matter.
We have Binding Cloth Precision. It is a 3 difficulty, 3 check, +2 mid block. It is a 2 low for 3. It's weapon, combo enhance. Look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it. Enhance. If this is the 3rd card in your card pool, it gets +2 speed and +2 damage. If it is the 5th card in your card pool, it gets +3 speed and +3 damage. So, kind of in continuing with the Eraserhead starter deck, the giving additional speed for each card in your card pool, that kind of stuff, it kind of falls in that line, right?
Yeah, it turns you into Giro Light if you put together a little attack string and eraser. And notably, Giro can also play the card.
Yeah, because she has all.
Yeah, this card. I feel like we'll see a lot of this card. What do you think, Tim?
I think we'll see a lot of it initially. I think it's going to be overrated at first. It still won't be like bad, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, the combo enhance is nice, but you're basically just playing this as a stat stick, and you don't always have room in your deck just to play stuff that's like, oh, I'm getting nice value out of this 3 difficulty 4 low 5. I mean, you are like that's good, right? If you're playing at 3rd, but what you can't really do. So if you're reaching, right? If you're saying like, well, if I play 2 foundations and then I play this to make it my 5th card, you're basically adding 2 difficulty to get 1 speed and 1 damage more. It's not particularly worth it in general, unless you actually need that exact number to kill.
Right.
So, but it is a 3 difficulty attack, and there's only so many of those that are any good. So I'm sure we'll see it, but I think it's gonna like come out of half the decks it goes in. But people slam it in everything, and then for a little while they'll start cutting it down to 2x, or some decks will cut it, some will play 4, depending on what deck it is. I like it for May.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet for May. Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of like I was gonna say. I feel like it falls into that like maybe a 2x or something after you kind of like cutting the numbers, figure it out. Because I mean, if you do play this as your 3rd card and you're trying to kill someone, like being able to look at the top, like the next card, like oh well, I can probably pass because it's a 5 or something like that. Or you see it's an attack, you're like oh well, I need to draw it, or just like shift gears and make an audible to what I'm doing on my turn.
Yeah, really funny for Eraserhead too, right? Because you look at your top card. If you keep it, the opponent knows that if they block it and you draw the card, it's probably not an attack. Or maybe you do. Maybe you have to like gamesmanship this, right? Whether you keep the card or not, your opponent gets to some decision over whether you're drawing that card or not.
Yeah, anytime you have to make your opponent make a choice with limited information, it's always fun for you. And it's always nerve-wracking for them. So hey, we'll let them deal with that.
Exactly. And since Matt's not here, I'm going to comment on the art. We have this is the card. It has like Eraser's thumb kind of coming over the text box, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I wonder what the XR of this will look like.
Probably part of no frame, right? A lot of this looks like, I think they talked about before, they got some art from the mobile game for this, and this is probably what a lot of it's going to be like, is stuff that will actually fit full art on a card for the XRs.
Oh, nice. Yeah, hope we see some better XRs in this set than set 2. Set 2 was kind of a step down in quality from the XRs from set 1.
RIP set 2 XRs. We never talk of them again.
Never.
All right. Yeah, we'll go to Whiplash. You got that one, Tim?
Yeah. Yep. So the next card is Binding Cloth Whiplash. This is a 4/3, a 2 low 5. It's got some nice damage on it. Just a 2 mid block though. It has Fury this time in addition to weapon and combo. And this is another combo enhance only card. The combo enhance says it doesn't count towards progressive for
All
the
right.
rest of the turn.
Yeah, so this is my favorite card, I think. My favorite attack we've seen so far for Eraser. Just because I want to play it into Binding Cloth Capture all day. That's all I want to do with this card. And I just want to play Binding Cloth Capture is what it boils down to. I mean, low attacks, dope. 5 damage, dope. Yeah, the +2 is fine. You know, it's not any sweet +1 highs or anything like we get on some busted cards, but yeah, I like this card a lot.
Yeah, it's a really solid card. Obviously, not having something count towards progressive is going to be really great for Eraser and stringing those long attack turns going on, right?
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the key things that's going to drive these Eraserhead 2 decks to actually play his theme. Right, because there probably aren't going to be too many other attack lineups that get to play something that takes itself out of progressive or effectively does that, something that discards itself from the card pool or something on these symbols.
Yeah.
Because he definitely wants an effect like this, very, very much so.
He almost needs something like this.
I was gonna say, do you think we're gonna see a lot of people trying to slam in Crow and Frog into like Eraserhead decks? Because I feel like we saw that with some non-Crow Asui Tokiyami decks with Crow and Frog, just because it didn't add to progressive. And obviously he's all about like stringing the attacks as much as he can to get the extra speed.
I think that's going to be a reach here.
A reach?
Because you
Okay.
can't Crow and Frog into Whiplash, for instance.
That's
Right?
true.
Right.
Frog's
Yeah.
not a combo.
Mm-hmm.
Crow and Frog had weapon maybe, but
Yeah, because it's just ranged, I think, right? Maybe ally.
Ally ranged.
Yeah. Yep. I bet we're gonna see some late riser come into play though in set 2 with or set 3 with Eraser.
Oh, absolutely.
Been waiting.
The card's finally going to see play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess we'll move on to this Binding Shoulder Rush. You got that one, John, or just me?
As you.
Binding Shoulder Rush. It's a 5/3 +2 mid block, 4-speed mid for 6 damage, slam weapon and combo attack. So the combo enhance on this is ready 1 foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. Just what we need, more readying. And enhance the next combo attack you try to play gets -1 difficulty. I don't have a ton of thoughts about this card. It's pretty cool, right? Being able to ready something and like make your next combo thing cheaper is going to work really well with stringing stuff together that Racer wants to do. I think it's a decently sweet card. It's really on a 6 diff for a 4 mid for 6, which is
Yeah,
right?
It's sneaky, right? Like
It's
I think
sneaky.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Because if the one thing is, like, if you lead with it, it's a quote unquote 4 diff because you're getting -1 difficulty on the next move. Although if your next move is a 4 diff and you check a 5 on it, it didn't matter, right?
Right.
But it's got this like pseudo 4 diffness going on. The combo basically makes up for playing it second. You ready whatever you committed to pass the check.
That's true.
You're doing something for an ability, which makes it a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's usually some form of pseudo 4 diff for 4 mid 6. You could call it a pseudo 3 diff if you're really stringing out. Which is that's good rate. And it's a combo card that Eraserhead does not mind playing first, which is something people complained about early in the previous that well, that's great, but I don't want to play one of these cards that's just blank if you don't have the combo. And this one does something kind of handy if you don't have the combo.
Much like Binding Cloth Capture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. Like, it's interesting that it's a slam. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of slam stuff or a lot of slam like themed stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see if that's gonna slot in somewhere in set 3 or where it's gonna fit.
He's got like 1 or 2 other slam cards from set 1, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think Gutter Punk is a slam card. Which I rack my brain constantly trying to figure out where that card goes somewhere, right? Like being able to pick up the first card in your card pool. Maybe it's this, because you play this first, then you go into Gutter Punk, then you use Gutter Punk.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. John's frozen, but yeah, I think he was gonna say use the Gutter Punk to pick this back up and then just do more things with it.
This makes Gutter Punk on a 5, which is kind of reasonable.
To pick up this and play it again, maybe.
He's back.
Hey, we're back.
He's back. I've got my modem right here. I'm watching like the online part just drop off and come back on. It's so frustrating. I had Spectrum come out last week, and they're like, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. We don't know what your problem is."
I'm
And I
leaving
was
this
just
in the
like, "Oh,
pod.
oh my god, good, yes, do it." Calling you out, Spectrum. I know you don't listen to this, but if you
God.
do,
We're never getting a Spectrum sponsorship after this. That's terrible.
that's fine. I wouldn't.
Uh,
I wouldn't want them to sponsor us anyway.
well, Spectrum has been great for me.
Bridge burned.
Mm.
But yeah, so like
But
the last parting thoughts on this, since once again, since Matt isn't here, is that the artist suites and the XR will look really good on this, especially if there's no border on this, dude. This is gonna look fucking dope. The purple's gonna
yeah,
pop so
especially
hard.
I was gonna say if they get the foiling right with a little bit of red coming out of his eye, like coming
Yeah.
out, it'd be really good.
Yeah, one tangent before I forget. This Aizawa too, he's allowed to play the Eraserhead enhance on erase. Eraserhead
Yes.
response, rather. That is important to remember that, one other thing, he obviously doesn't have it literally all the time, but when he does have it, he does get to sort of mess up your day a little bit with that as well.
All right. Up next, we have Erasure Grasp. It's a 5/3 +2 low block. It is a 2 mid for 5. Weapon, combo attack. Combo enhance, seal 1 rival foundation. This attack gets plus X speed. X equals the printed difficulty of the sealed foundation. Enhance, your next combo or weapon attack gets +3 damage. Congratulations, we now have Algebra in the MHA card game. So
I
that's
mean,
fun.
that's a reach. We've got plenty of plus X's. Come on.
Do we?
Come
I
on,
don't
man.
know.
I know you're
man,
an English
I
major.
didn't-
Calm down. It's fine.
I majored in. I have a master's degree in letters, not numbers. Thank you.
Well, I majored in dropping out of college twice, and I can still do plus X, John. So like, it's all right.
Recipro Burst has plus X.
That's
Look,
true.
I think that's actually it, though.
Did Pythagoras design this card game? I don't know. I don't even know if that's. I think that's actually geometry. To be honest with you, I don't really know.
But on the real,
This card's okay.
yeah, okay, you're more generous than the others have been.
Yeah, this card's not very good.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing that absolutely murders this card is the speed on it. It's
It's super blockable, right? Like this has throw stats on it, right? Like a 2 mid for 5. That's for a 5 diff. That's something you put on grasping tape toss or something, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the comparison.
not to steal Tim's thunder, but so I'll let him talk about the cards that are steal targets for this. Take it away, Tim.
Oh, yeah, I think a lot of the thing is there aren't too many 3 difficulties right now. Maybe there are more in this set that you're going to be really excited to seal. If you're a combo deck playing your second attack, they've probably already used sticky balls already. Unless you checked an attack on your first one, and then like, are you really playing this on a 6 after you just checked a 3 on your first 5 diff or whatever? So it's just a lot of the time you're actually going to be sealing release. It gets +0 speed.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of have to treat it like combo in hand, seal 1 foundation, and if you get any speed out of it, like that's a bonus. Maybe there's a fulfilled my duty or something you want to seal for 2. But even if you out of 4 mid 5, where you have to combo it just to seal 1 card, and the enhance your next thing is good, but this feels like it should be a 4 difficulty card that maybe does 4 damage or something. It's just really steep for what it is.
I think the best thing you're going to be able to seal that you can like get it in before your opponent does anything is Taiyaki. Like outside of it, like that's not a 0 diff, you know? Because obviously, like you'd rather seal release than Taiyaki, but like you could hit a Taiyaki and then like do whatever thing you want to do on your foundations. But yeah, I mean that feels kind of bad. Yeah, Night Watch, sure.
Maybe rescue completed, I guess, is a 3 div, but I don't know how many people are running that. Like the water Asui decks, I think are gonna run like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I could see rescue. The life decks are running.
Yeah.
Some of the life decks are running 4x of that thing. That's probably the best 3 diff for you to seal. But again, it's like you'd rather find any other way to handle those cards than to have to play a understated 5 diff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can just run Binding Cloth Capture on your first attack and seal it, right?
Right.
And it's already like a 4 low or whatever speed.
Yeah, it's a way better attack.
I mean, yeah, I guess to our point earlier about this being like statted maybe around Eraser, I guess it's a 2 + 2 speed off the bat, so maybe it's a 4 mid for 5 already. I guess.
Yeah.
Still kind of rough for a 5 diff, you know?
You got Late Riser in play, so it's a 6 damage. I don't know.
It just compares so badly to Binding Cloth Capture, right? That's sort of the main thing. Is you could have, instead of a 4 mid 5 that seals 1 on a combo, you could just have a 4 low 5. And yeah, you this
Mhm.
has the +3 damage, but binding might be -2 difficulty and discard a card.
Yeah.
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 So that's I think we're done stretching, making
Yeah.
that card good. Yeah.
Yep. I
Moving
think
along.
you fulfilled your
Yeah,
contractual obligations to Eraser.
I could imagine a 1x,
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe. Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the next card's Acrobatic. This is a 0 difficulty Void Foundation, which has a lot of people happy. It is a overall 0/5 +2 mid. After you block with the card, remove it, so you're going to get some refund on that block as well.
Mhm.
When it's in your stage, all it really does is blow up for -1 speed while committed, so kind of a little bit in the space of surviving the final, and it's not reusable, but you get a better block out of the deal. It's a playable 0 diff that will often do things. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to take slots away from Gotcha on Void, but it might be. You might like 2x's or 3 and 3 it or something like that.
Mm. Oh man, my Void Cementos deck's been waiting for this. I tell you, just 0 diffs I can throw out there and spam. Look, everything
Yeah.
is just feeding to ready stuff, right?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
Void needed this. Like, it needed some better spam. You can't. I think one of the problems Void has is it just can't compete early in the game. It can't establish a defense well enough because it can't get enough foundations out on turn one a lot of times. So this should help. Should help. And I mean, the
Mhm.
static on this is dope. Like, it might let you block that second attack on turn 2 you couldn't block before, just because that one progressive might matter. I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
guy.
I like all the. I like seeing this whole slate of Void cards that don't have 3 blocks,
Yes.
Mhm.
because
Yes.
when you build a Void deck right now, it's like, my goodness, there's like one card with a +2 block that's sort of in your first draft, and then you realize that you have to be Eraserhead 1 because otherwise you're never going to block anything.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, man, I have to play 4 copies of Think Fast in my deck because it's the only +1 mid block I can find, right?
Right.
God. And then you draw all 4 of those in your opening hand and feel real bad.
It's just,
All right. I guess we'll move on to Binding Cloth Mastery. This is a 2/4 +1 mid block. Speaking of, here's your
Mhm.
+1 mid block. We got the weapon keyword, and we got some relevant abilities here. So enhance flip 1 foundation. This attack gets -1 damage, and enhance commit if this attack. I'm sorry. Enhance commit if the next attack you try to play has binding in its name. It gets -2 difficulty. I mean, so first off, weapon keyword, extremely relevant for you Momo lovers out there on the
Mhm.
all symbol. I guess on the water symbol too.
And Water Momo too.
Yeah. I guess if you're into
'Cause
that kind of thing.
She builds it for free.
But so this is effectively like -1 difficulty to a binding card, right? You're committing yourself to get -2, so it's like -1. This will help his theme, like kind of stringing along attacks. But some extra defense for these symbols too. Flipping foundations for minus might just help get you there. It's generically a good card. I don't love the forecheck, but it probably warrants it. I think it's maybe good enough, all things considered. But I just don't like the forecheck.
Yeah, 4-check's rough. Like, there's always like that critical mass of how many 4-checks can I really get away with putting in a deck. I don't like to run more than 4. I mean, you're probably not competing with Small and Limber in like a Void Racerhead deck, maybe. But I don't know. It's just it's another card that's kind of always useful, right? Always being able to flip to give something -1 damage. That's always good.
Yeah, that can add up. We see people survive things with self-sacrifice
Hmm.
a lot of
Yeah.
the time. This does not share with self-sacrifice, somewhat thankfully. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flip
yeah,
destroy.
and
Flip
then just
destroyed.
flip destroy. Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be tricky. We're used to this 2-set format, and some decks that's easy to sort of just auto include a lot of things, and you're only at like 63 cards, and then you can start cutting stuff. And then there are death decks, but that's a whole other topic. But the I think it's going to be hard for this to find too many spaces. I could see it like 2xing. You don't really want 2 copies of that flip 1 foundation enhance. It's kind of hard to double up on them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And if you're doing the whole combo binding line, it's nice to have a counts as 2 foundation, but hopefully it's not super critical to your game plan, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you got like Spooky, which helps with like damage and stuff, so maybe you get something down to 1 speed, flip it, it's got 1 damage, then you can flip it and make it do 0 damage. It's not nothing, I guess, especially for like Eraserhead 1 versus like throws. He doesn't like, obviously the newer one has water, so he can play Wall Cling or something, but the other one doesn't. So maybe this helps with that, or like training with Gunhead.
Yeah. True.
Uh, Next up, what's next? Closing in.
Closing in.
All right. Kind of another, not quite a zero diff, but like one diff kind of spams, right?
They're definitely
It's
spams.
a
Yeah.
it's a 1/5 with a +2 high block. Enhance flip. Your combo attack gets +2 speed. It's not bad. It's a really solid one diff. Something that flips to add speed. It's kind of in the same vein as Let's Fight Bad Guys. Obviously, that's like +2 speed for Fury. You've got note taking, which is for punches. So this is just kind of in that same vein, where if you're on these symbols and need that extra speed for your combo attacks, right? It just helps out.
Boy, I bet Endeavor's gonna have one for ranged or something, right? Like that's
Yeah.
sort of the running theme here.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
man,
I
you gotta
guess we
be
don't have
fair.
a
They
weapon
like
yet,
having
but
these cards. I like having these cards.
yeah, I mean, it's a generically good card, right? Like you're probably gonna find a spot for at least 2 of it if you're on a combo theme heavy deck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a relevant block. It's decent
Mhm.
enough. It's fine. Like, there's not a lot to talk about here. You
Solid card.
add 2 speed to your 2 speed mid attack that you're playing because you're getting a racer starter deck, and feel bad about it. Nah,
There you
but
go. There you go. It's a 6 mid. I don't know why you're complaining about that card.
so good, so good. All right, we'll move on to Daunting Message.
Yeah, so Daunting Message is a 1/5. It has a nice +2 low block, more +2 blocks on nice spam foundations. This is good.
Mhm.
It is quite blank for a lot of the game because it is enhanced flip. If your health is less than your maximum health, less than half of your maximum health, you commit 1 rival foundation. So it does stone nothing until you're low enough, and then it's a very potent little electric jolt kind of activation that you get there on some symbols that, water has irrefutable, but not a whole lot else in terms of hitting foundations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm struggling to think of. I don't know if Void really has any particularly great snipes right now. I'm probably forgetting one on Void, but it's like you can play Erase or Night Watch or something. Tayaki kind of counts.
Yeah, like
Right.
Tape Toss has void, but they have to like walk into it, right? Like they have to not
Yeah.
block to have you tap something. So
Yeah, I feel like this card is so like this card is almost unplayable to me in the current format for 7-handers because like a lot of times you just die from above
mhm.
10 life. You just get hit by a big ass attack and you're dead. I might see a lot more playing 6-handers though. I'm not gonna say it's unplayable in 7-handers, but it's less appealing in 7-handers. But 6-handers will probably love this card. You get a lot more chance to actually get the value from it at some point.
I think we see decks running fruit of our labors right now.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost entirely just to be like a pseudo blank 1/5 with a 2 low block.
That's true.
Mhm.
It's quite hard to actually use that ability and make anything out of it. 'Cause you have to block like 3 or 4 times before that's good.
That's true.
So, obviously that has a deadlock too, but I could see it, 2xing. Hey, I need low blocks. Hey, this card will probably win me some games. Put it in there.
Mhm. It does like it does make your opponent worry about something, right? Like if they're trying to plan out their kill turn, but something kind of goes wrong or they check poorly, and that's like sitting there, they have to like kind of think about, do I want to keep trying to push in or what am I going to do? Um, I guess also you've got stuff like dissolving the conflict, which is, I mean, that's 10 or less, so you might not be exactly like less than half. So that's something, but it does kind of fall into like the learning the standards with 7-handers, right? Like with learning the standards, like, oh, I took 1 hit, that's a lot. I guess I have to pop this immediately. Like I can't really keep afford to like taking just unblocked damage. Um,
Yeah,
but you know,
I have this notion swimming around my head literally right now of, okay, let's play. What if we played all shoji and we spent the whole game tutoring for these, and we have 3 or 4 of them out, and then we cut ourselves down below half.
mm-hmm.
We commit everything that matters, and then play a nice attack.
Go
Shoot.
in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be something. I mean, he definitely can find them. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyone got any parting thoughts on Daunting Message?
Nope.
All
I wonder
right.
if the next
Put
one's
it
a
into decks
1/5 with a
until it
+2.
gives me too much.
What was that, Tim?
So I'm gonna put it into decks quite often, and probably eventually put it into decks less often.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
All right, so on to another 1/5 with a +2 mid block. Wow, John, you psychic. Enhanced flip. This ranged attack gets -3 damage. Man, I do think this card is actually super sweet. There's so many ranged attacks running around murdering the shit out of me right now. -3 damage on a flip. I'm all aboard, man. Sign me up.
yeah, I think this is a little more likely to live in sideboards than its 1/6 brethren from the first set.
That's
Mhm.
fair.
Those cards have they have a +1 high and a +2 low block respectively. Even if there's less fury stuff, and well, right now the most popular deck is running punches, but relatively less punch stuff.
Mhm.
Those cards have like people will play them for their 6 checks for stacking reasons or for the off zone blocks. This is a +2 block is nice, but
Yeah.
it's very generic. So you might this might live in some sideboards, and it's sort of tough to sideboard a card that's just -3 damage. You kind of want your sideboard cards to be more impactful than that, but you never know.
Yeah, I definitely think this is kind of like a meta themed card, right? Like if the current meta is like it is right now, where it's like, oh, we got Asui and everything is ranged, or a lot of Tokuyami stuff is ranged. Those are like the really high potent like turn two aggro decks. That might if it's still kind of going around, you might see a little more of this in like main deck play. But we'll see.
We shall see.
hmm Oh, did we lose Tim?
Oh.
Uh, Up next, we got two cards left. We have Dropping In From Above. It's a 2/5 with a +2 high block. So Void getting a lot of playable blocks with a Racerhead starter deck. We have Enhance Commit. Your high attack gets +2 damage. And Enhance, if your first attack this turn was not blocked, your attack gets +1 damage. So I think it's a decent card, right? Like it helps with the racer's problem of getting extra damage. It does kind of give you like the like when to use the enhanced commit if you think you're going to be going on like a long string of attacks. Obviously, you're going to hold off on it, but it does give you options for how you want to play your turn, right?
Yeah, decks are running Harden right now to have a
Mm-hmm.
+2 high block and commit for 2 damage,
Mm-hmm.
and have like a cool on block effect. So this is probably going to replace Harden in those lists, provided they have a decent number of high attacks that they think they can land.
Mm-hmm.
I like this card a lot. I sort of like offensive stats foundations that are reasonably situated. It's a 2/5. You're paying a real cost to put this in your deck. It's
Hmm.
not like a 0/5 or anything, but if you need your offense to get better as the game goes on, this is a nice way to do it. It sort of forces them to block your first attack, whatever it is, so you might be able to leverage that depending on
Yeah.
what cards you have access to. This is really good in Sero, comes to
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Yep.
Pretty good one for this.
Yeah.
Um,
Totally agree with what you guys said. Quick question. Does the
yeah.
second ability work on your first attack since it was not blocked yet?
Uh,
I would think
I
the
assume
intent
no.
of a card is that it is assumed it's on your second or greater attack.
Yeah, not blocked is a status, right? It is attacks are become blocked or not blocked during the block step.
Okay.
So it's not like a true or false
Okay.
statement. It's was your first attack unblocked?
So it does not work on your first attack. Gotcha.
Correct. Correct.
All
Yes.
right. Damn. All right. Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts on the card. Yeah, I kind of just I would echo what you guys are saying, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a sweet card. I like it.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite card of
Yeah.
the foundations here.
I like it. It's also another good reason to play Manly Passionate Guy, right? Like that's another. It's a good target for that if you're running that in your deck with Void.
Yeah,
I like being
yeah,
able to block clear progressive, and then it gives you like if you know you're going to survive going into your turn, this is something you didn't have to build. Or if you're like on turn two, maybe I'm going to hold this so I can block with it and build it down and play something else instead.
yep.
Yeah.
Then you have to fit Manly Passionate Guy into your deck.
Yeah, very true, and
Is going to be increasingly difficult to just say, oh, this works well with this card and this card and this card,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
like, okay, well now you have to play all of those, and
I
there's
Yeah.
actually going to be 3 sets now. So
I do find myself cutting that card a lot. That +3 low block is tough to stomach.
I 2x it
Yeah.
a lot right now. It's
Mm,
certainly a good card, but if you're up against Deadlock, it becomes a very bad card.
yeah. Not to go too off on a tangent. My problem is I keep trying to like slam it in my Earth Cementos deck, but I'm like I'm never blocking anything because I can't have no speed reduction.
Yeah.
Also, it's not a good deck.
Well,
Yeah.
luckily the meta deck right now doesn't put speed on anything. So,
There you go.
but yeah. So our last card for our preview so far is Exhausted Exclamation. This is a 2/5 +3 mid that commits to draw a card if your character is committed. So it's slightly more fair, slightly more limited, passing the torch, but a
Hmm.
version of passing the torch all the same.
hmm Yeah, no, I think this is just it's a solid card, right? Like obviously it fits into his response commit theme. there's a lot of characters on these symbols, like Shoji, right? Like you can draw draw cards with Shoji if you want to, or Midnight. Midnight's probably gonna play this card.
Yes.
I think this is a solid card. Like you said, it's a two difficulty with a 5 check is probably fair for this card.
Yeah, I mean, Froppy will play this card, obviously, on water.
Yeah, because
she's going to love this card. Yeah.
Yeah, passing the torch is pretty much an auto 4x right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth noting that passing the torch was in standard, right, for a while because of the demo decks, and it was not an automatic 4x.
Really?
So it is not strictly guaranteed that every single meta is going to revolve around card count.
Yeah.
The way the set 2 meta kind of does, because you've got right now the most popular deck Hiroshima. The last thing his weakness, so to say, is literally passing the torch, because he's not putting speed on anything. So if they have the cards to block with, they're just going to block his stuff, right? And he's trying to harden shot people and things like that. And then you have all these long string decks that need to draw cards to find more attacks, right? But it's possible that the meta could move to a place where these aren't just slammed 4x into decks that they fit in, but at least out of the gate, I assume that's what we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like, it gets some card draw to like Water and Void that isn't Void kicks. Like, Void didn't have a lot of card draw, I don't think, outside of getting this. So it's cool, man. Like, you need some card draw, especially in like Water. Just like never drew cards unless you're playing Frigid Heat Wave, right? That's the only way to drew cards.
You get Frigid. Outside of that, I can't. I guess some of the other was the Todoroki Foundation from set
more
1.
range theme stuff.
Yeah.
I've really been struggling with like wanting to put Cheerful Uppercut into water decks, but that just makes it so much harder to run Frigid.
Yes.
So, you know, maybe this is like a backdoor out of having to run the range theme if you're water.
I can see that. I do think this would be if they do a full art for the XR, I think this would be an amazing full art XR card just because of what's going on in the background. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, that'd be really cool to see.
This looks like a screenshot, so I don't know about that. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
This is definitely just ripped right from the anime itself, right?
Yeah. And those anime is widescreen, not tall screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can just turn it sideways, man. It's fine.
Yeah, maybe it's super zoomed in.
There you go. I mean, they did that on some of the messed up XRs for what was it, Sticky Balls? I think was like just super zoomed in.
Nightwatch had it.
Nightwatch
there's not much to zoom in on here, John. We're gonna be in his mouth.
His eyes just take up the entire width of the card.
Yes, it's literally just his eyes, just the giant dead shot.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's all the previews we have so far. Obviously, coming up, we'll have the rest of Racerhead. I assume we'll get Endeavor starter deck up next. I would imagine that's how they're going to do it.
Before the next time we talk, we'll probably have all of Endeavor starter out.
Yep.
To talk about.
Because it's probably going to be the last 4 for Eraser, including probably the 1Xs tomorrow, and then 5 days of Endeavor. And then they'll do who knows what Sunday at Gen Con. Maybe they'll spoil those on the stream instead of doing the scheduled thing, because that'll be their top cuts of their regional.
They could do anything at Gen Con. They could show some sweet, deep cards from the set, or maybe like characters from the set or something. Who knows?
That would be nice.
They're going to have to fill the air of a Momo Mirror match with something.
Oh no,
that's going to take 4 hours.
Oh man,
please no.
Gonna have flashbacks of the K1 versus K1.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's you specifically. You're gonna get PTSD from that. Yikes!
I'm just gonna no, don't do that to me.
Yikes!
But yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. Obviously, if you're going to Gen Con, guys, safe travels. Good luck. Make sure you're prepared to be there all day if you're playing in the events. Make sure you got water. Make sure you got snacks or something. Pack some throat lozenges, because I did not think about that when I went down to Orlando, and by the 3rd match, I'd already lost my voice. I just talking so much that I don't normally talk all day, and you have to talk so much louder. Which I'm already a loud talker, so that's even even worse. But yeah, so I know, Tim, you're headed down. I know you're not going to give us the insight on everything, but do you have kind of an idea of what you're going to play, or do you have it narrowed down to a few decks, or what you thinking?
I'm probably either going to play Staff Strike Jiro, or I'll just punt and play the Mina.
Okay.
I think both are pretty good into Kirishima, and that's sort of the most important thing. And I don't hate myself enough to run the Lifehouse Wii.
Yep.
That's just kind of not fun to play with or against, even if it's effective.
I have no shame, so I had no problem running that deck.
Yeah, that is also pretty good at. We think pretty good. Probably favored. I think it's favored against Kirishima. So I know you guys say you think it's 50-50, but so like
In better hands
it's
than mine.
basically like deck choice is shaped by, we think 20% of the field or something's going to be Kirishima first and foremost, and then okay, what does the rest of everything look like? And I'm definitely scared of like the defense level of the Giro. Like I don't, it's kind of thin. You have specialists of sound and then drawing cards
Right.
and stacking your deck, but that's kind of I've played a lot of tightrope matches with Tokiyami, so it's not really anything new, I guess.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess with the staff strike Jiro, the biggest thing is trying to watch out for things that are going to disrupt your combo abilities and stuff like that. And I guess there's not a whole. I mean, I
It's
guess you got sticky balls. That's a pretty bad, I guess.
yeah, sneaky
State's
difficult,
Shield.
right? If
Yeah.
you play an attack and they stick your balls of foundation in your card, pretty like, all right, I was going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
So they put an attack in. All
Yep.
right, there's my weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I guess Mineta 2 might not be great, but that's more of a long game anyway.
here's my foundation. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
I
not.
guess that's right. I agree.
Yeah.
He gets to. You don't get. He doesn't pick, right? You get picked, so you just
Right.
put
You
up a
get to
face
pick.
up. Yeah.
Yep. So it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
There's some things, right? They can at least like forcing surrender at least makes you draw one less card,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Yeah. Oh,
it's pretty
awesome, man.
sturdy.
Now, is it pretty much like Jose's build from Orlando? Has he? I don't know. Has he optimized or like, updated it all, or have you made your
I
own
didn't
changes to it?
really
Or
talk to him about it too much, other than like asking. I'm putting Tayaki's in the main because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to lose to You're So Obvious or Training
Right.
Partner.
Mm-hmm.
I am worried about like Night Watch does kind of
Yeah.
shut down your plan, but I think that's why there's 4 sound waves in the board. If you're facing Night Watch, you just become a more traditional Giro. So
I gotcha. Cool. Awesome,
Makes
man.
sense.
Well, good luck. We're banking on seeing you on day 2. On at least, I assume it'll be a top 16. There's got to
yeah,
be.
it's going to be a top 16 cut from they have 180 players or something right now.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely top 16.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I might just bail and play Mina and not make top cuts, but just like play the deck I have fun with. But
Have more fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate everybody stopping by and listening to us and helping it, struggling through my technical difficulties. And Tim, we appreciate you coming on and helping us preview the cards, man.
yeah, fun to come on.
Make sure you guys check out Tim's YouTube channel. I'll put the link down below. He does his awesome short news thing for you in the morning, so you don't have to listen to an hour of us talking. You just do like 10 minutes of him talking. It's great.
Yeah. He's got some pleasant background music too as well. It's nice, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. Do all the what is it they say? Do all the algorithm things, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. I always forget to do that to plug our own channel. But have a great week, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Later.